Okay, am I live? All right. First stream of 2024. It's gonna be a good one. Well, 2024 is gonna be a good one. There's a lot of stuff to build. A lot of stuff to build. I called this one HTML plus LLM magic, mostly because I just realized I gotta let the Discord know. Mostly because it's true. I'm doing some magic. I'm trying to. So like I'm following for all the people who watched the previous, and if you're new, hi, I'm Jared. But for all the people that watch the but if you're not 10x, please go. But I previously was talking about how to essentially how to model the web more and how to give it more structure. Because right now the web kind of sucks. Like honestly, when it comes to structure, the web doesn't have a lot of structure. Let's see. Let's streaming. One sec. Okay. Let me get everything in order here. So like I've been talking about it. Web 4.0 is what I call it. Is that we've had Web 1.0, we've had Web 2.0. We've kind of had Web 3.0, honestly, kind of. And now we're getting into a new phase where the semantic web, look it up, I think is actually going to start becoming a real thing. I think so. So, by the way, I figured out how to actually classify HTML in a pretty neat way. I'm going to show you because I've had this idea. So let's go. Let's get some examples here. Let's go to Hacker News. I love that. I've been on the site for so long. It's crazy. How long have I been on the site? Actually, I think the first time I've been on the site, I was like 14. It's nuts. They should pay me for my engagement. Okay, so let's go. Let's copy some HTML here. Okay, cool. Let's order this a little bit. So, like, here's what I'm talking about. If you're like, what is he talking about? He's not giving me any context. This is starting to get annoying. I'll tell you. I'll give you some context here. Give you some context here. 1 second. Just order this up a little bit. I should have see what happens when you don't have like a real text editor and you're just using Sublime Text like an idiot. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So I have some algorithms I'm going to talk you through because right now it's going to be very important for people to sort of figure out how to model the web more because more people are scraping. That's the reason why it matters more. It's because I'm all out of whack. It's a slow start to the new year. Okay. So this right here is a article post. It's a if you just look at this raw HTML, you don't know what it is, right? What is this? I don't know. Like if I just looked at this, we saw what it was. We went on Hacker News and we saw that this was a article link. But how am I supposed to know that? Like how am I supposed to abstractly look at this as if it's code and then figure out what it is? It's like even this texture, what is that? LO.lol, like this makes sense. That matters, in my opinion, when it comes to the next phase of the web. Because when I'm talking about Web 4.0, what I'm really talking about in this way that the web needs to evolve, what I'm really talking about is the next phase of apps. So if you look at like the great computer scientist thinkers, not even computer science, like computer business thinkers of the past, like, I don't know, 40 years at least, like Steve Jobs, Gates. No, but in general, just all the big titans, they always talk about apps. They've been talking about apps. People think apps started. I have ADHD probably. I understand. I'll get back to the original topic, right? But people think that apps has just been this like this new thing from the mobile web, right? No, no, apps. As soon as you have computers, as soon as you have personal computing, especially, you have apps. As soon as you have C, you have apps. You have applications. You have application development. People wanting to create things that have an end user purpose that's usable, and you don't have to code. You have an app, right? So what we do is we make apps. The web is probably the biggest distributor of apps. And you look in the 90s, we'll talk about it later, but like people like Jobs have been very passionate about the evolution of apps. So one thing that's a problem right now in making web apps is a lot of these web apps need a lot of data and they need to be built very quickly. So you have a two-sided problem. One big problem right now is to get data, people are writing an insane amount of web scraping processes. There's API galore where you have to ingest this API, you have to do this browser automation, yada 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 yada, and then you have to generate code and UIs and all this. We've seen from Vercel and all this some very nice UI generation and all that. Hold on a sec. Where's my 1 second? I just realized I've been ignoring. Aditya, apparently I got into AI, just built a project, GPT 3.5, 11K model, the first project. Nice. Good job, Aditya. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So so one thing that's happening, right, that I foresee is an ability to abstractly, well, semantically map out the way the web is structured. This way, instead of looking at this and being like, what is this? I can say, let's say I have a JavaScript module. Let's say I npm install, web structure or whatever. I don't know, web API. And then I import, web API, yada, 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 right? And then I say, go to Hacker News. Assume I did. I'll write out the whole thing. I'll write it ycombinator.com. And I go to ycombinator.com. And then you get it. It's JavaScript. So we're doing promises probably, right? So I do this and then I say, okay, go here and then say, let's, get all article links. Right? Like nothing in this API is specific to Y Combinator. So my thought is I could just have a function that's like, give me article links, right? I've said this many times. I understand. Skip this part if you've seen me say it. but I've actually kind of made it real a little bit in my research this past few weeks. Well, I've had some steps because I'm making a little pilot project, which I'll keep a little secret, but we're going to code on it today. That I'm very excited about, that I'm going to use to exercise some of these ideas. Let's say I get the article links and, assuming this is how it would work. And then I would then have like, if I console log, article links to get the first title or whatever, and it would show this thing right here. It would show this loo.lol, a binary math set. Right? That's the general idea. So how do we actually like abstractly define the web? Because the cool thing is that, so this is like, you're like, okay, that's cool for data. You can already kind of do this with LLMs. Well, we're going to do it with LLMs. But one problem is the scale doesn't work. Because in order to understand the vast scope of the web and to distill it, which is an ever expanding problem, you have to keep increasing the parameters of these LLMs, and there's going to have to be some centralized LLM for that, OpenAI or GPT-4, right? Which is great. GPT-4 is great, but I want to do this with a 7 billion parameter model, and I want to do it really well and take a lot of what we know about how the web works in order to build apps using a very low parameter model. So then we can start scaling. Once we solve the problem in a small way, then we scale. Michael Tanner, we're talking, and I'm going to show you some stuff I got, some ideas I have. I'm going to show you a lot of ideas, and I'm probably going to work on a little project I have. It's a little secret though. I'm teasing the project a little bit because I want to. I'll show you guys. You know what I'll do, Michael? I won't actually even talk about what the project is, but for a while. But I'll work on it, and I'll work on some smaller pieces. Like today, I'm gonna show you a smaller piece. Show you a smaller piece. Anyway, so I have an interesting way of doing this part of the classification. We don't have this yet, like the API, because I don't really need this yet. Right now, I'm building. Yeah, let's keep that there. Something else. So this is my project. So I have this. So let me first kind of show you how the idea of what I'm. Let's go to Hacker News. Do I have this extension up? Let's see. Yeah, I do. Cool. So I have this Chrome extension. I have a secret Chrome extension. You'll see soon enough. Not now. Now you'll see some of it, how it works. You'll see a little bit of how it works. Okay, so let's see. Is this running? Okay. So where do I have? Right. So I have, so this I'm actually using Code Llama right now. I'm gonna switch over to Mistral. Once I figure out, I got off the Mistral waiting list, which is nice for their API, but I'm like, I'm dealing with customer service. All right. So one thing I'm doing, where is it? Classify HTML. So this is using, I'm interfacing with Code Llama right now, the 7 billion parameter model, to essentially classify HTML. I'm using the LLM to say, hey, look at this HTML snippet and tell me what it is. And then you figure out what it is in your own language. Code Llama is very good for that because Code Llama was trained on a lot of HTML examples. I think they used, what's the famous HTML data set? I always forget. It's not the stack is for all the programming languages, but there's some SDP. I forgot, but there's like a big HTML data set that people have been using. And I think they used that. They may have also used other stuff. I don't know what Facebook used. They probably used a ton of shit. They probably used so much stuff that I don't know. But either way, here I have a JavaScript function in which I have a prompt. And in this prompt, a second, I'm going to lose the, project decryption. No, the project secret. You guys will know soon enough. Once I get a nice demo, you'll know. But right now I'm going to show you some ideas, some technologies inside of it. It's all about the ideas. It's about the apps. Think about apps. Okay, applications. All right, so here I have a lot of little. This is my API. I have a little API class. This is a Chrome extension, and you can maybe figure out what it is. If you want to figure out what this project is based on the name of it, fine. But this is just one problem in it where I'm trying to classify HTML. So this is a very, very simple prompt. I'm like, you're an HTML classifying bot. Your role is to analyze given HTML snippets and respond with what you think the HTML represents in the real world. For example, if you're given an HTML snippet that looks like a comment from a reply thread, then you would respond with thread comment. whatever. That's obviously, so that's going to point it towards some bias. I probably want to do a few shot prompt here. This is experimental. But you get it. So I'm telling it, I'm going to give you some HTML, and then I give it some HTML here. I, cut off the characters. And then it's going to tell me what it thinks it is. It's going to classify it. So it's going to be like, hey, this is a blah, blah, blah. But I told you that we're just going to use a 7 billion parameter model. So how is that going to scale? If I, how do I classify this entire, well, it's not even just parameters, because context window isn't just a parameter thing. But it also is, because in order to manage very big context windows, you're going to need a lot of data, right? You're going to need a large sized model. When it comes to, the more data you're going to wind up having, the more, especially when it's based on the web, it's very important for anyone designing neural nets. The more chaotic your data is going to be, the more random it is, the more data points the unknowns are going to be, the more you're just scraping stuff and putting it into the model that you don't know and have control over, the size is going to increase. You're going to need more layers, and you're going to need more neurons, and the size is naturally going to increase with that. So that's why you have GPT-4 being I don't even know, like 200 billion parameters. I don't know, because they use so much data, right? And that's fine. But here, I can't just take this whole body. How big is this? Let's go copy the outer HTML of this. If I'm using Mistral, 7 billion parameter model, if I'm using Code Llama, 13 billion, or let's talk about context windows. If I'm using a 4,000, 8,000 context window when it comes to tokens, that's going to be a lot. So let's actually look at this. Oh, whoops. Let's use the backticks. Oh, whoops. Let's go and what length is this whole page? It's 35,000 characters. Let's assume that each token's what is it, 3? Let's assume it's 4 characters. Divided by, let's just do 3.5. Assume this is about 10,000 characters. Tokens. Probably more, actually, because you would probably multiply this by, I don't know, 1.3 or something to get the amount of tokens this would be for the context window. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, when I talk about tokens and context window, you got to look up LLMs. They're very cool. They're very cool. If you're an LLM hater and you don't think it's cool, you suck. It's very cool. But I think a lot of the application isn't developed as much as it should be right now, because it's not just a black box. I think these are tools we can use. But anyway, I can't just put this whole, if I wanted to classify this whole site, I can't just put this whole thing into a smaller model with a smaller context window. I have to toss it to GPT-4, right? It's very important. Also, if you're going to be someone that wants to use AI to make money, this is very important, because a lot of people are trying to use AI by just tossing a ton of text at it and being like, hey, do this. They're trying to use GPT-4 and those LLMs to just toss a ton of text to it and be like, hey, do this, do this, do this, right? So the problem is that it gets expensive, because if I have, and you already know this, if you already use GPT-4, if I have 200 tokens, and I say, and I have to, and that's my prompt is 200 tokens, and I'm going to generate 140 tokens after that. Each individual one's going to be more, it's going to require more GPU, more of the memory bus. It's going to utilize more memory for each token after it. So it adds on. It's not like it scales fairly linearly, but it scales, right? It's not like if my prompt is 1,000 tokens, it's going to require more memory even for the same 140 or 200 extra tokens or whatever. Does that make sense? I know it's like a lot of concepts. So, Jerry, when I started creating a high-level design for the project, all the models have a problem self-hosting. OpenAI is kind of magical. It is magical. Yeah, of course it's magical. Yeah, it's awesome. And no, by the way, I'm not like dissing OpenAI, by the way. But you know who's actually has very good hosting? RunPod has good hosting. Mistral has just came out with hosting. You can set up your own Docker images, and these things can help when it comes to cost. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, like, we can diss the company OpenAI for being called OpenAI because that's, ridiculous. But it's not like it works, which is great. So, but we're trying to solve unit problems and then scale. That's what you're hired to do as an engineer. Is try to solve the smallest unit of the problem and then scale. It's very hard to do that with GPT-4. Just being real. Okay, cool. So that's the basic premise here. So like, how do I? So I figured out a way where I can actually take advantage of a smaller model to classify this, and for the purposes that I have right now, and I'm using tree traversal. So I have this basic classification. But what I wind up doing was a couple things, actually. Let's start from the top. So I'm tackling a problem where this is my secret project, where I'm like, I want to be able to. I was just gonna say what it is. Okay, first thing I need to do is I need to get all of the relevant components on the page. So when I go to Hacker News, the first thing I'm doing for my project is I'm like, what's every element that matters to a user? So it'll get the submit button, this jobs button. It'll also get this whole header itself. It'll get each of these article links. It'll get this link right here. You get what I'm saying? And in the end, I get 80 components. Okay, let's actually. This is my little tool here. It doesn't work yet, but it will. And I passed a great threshold before this, which is why I'm streaming. Let's see. Did it log stuff? One second. Let's go to, did I log stuff? I got to go to the background script. Let me clear this entire thing. But yeah, so the first thing that I do is I get all the components. Okay, cool. All right, let's refresh this. I just want to show you what the components look like. Let's see. Oh, I added an error. Oh, I'm not running the server. My bad. Hold on. I totally forgot. I gotta run. For anyone who's looking at the other streams, I totally forgot. Totally forgot to tell you. The ngrok, the old ngrok stuff isn't working. If anyone's looking at the other streams and you want to use the code, because people will message me because they want to use the code, I have a new ngrok tunnel for all the code here. So the reason why I need to use ngrok is because in colab, apparently The old like they don't have for the exposed tunnel that they have for the collab server, they don't allow post requests. So they have these like so you can use ngrok, which can let you create a tunnel and expose a service here using their like that routes it through their servers. And I was using ngrok before, but now you actually have to have like a token here, which I have now. So, by the way, if you want to use, maybe I'll make this public, but if you want to, yeah, I'll make it public in the chat. If you want to use the other servers for the stream or the other collabs for the other streams, you're gonna have ngrok. You're gonna have to use this one. Okay. All right. So here's what I do. I load up Code Llama 7 billion. Oh yeah. First I got to install. So here is just I just have like a flask server in front of Code Llama, and that's it. And I have a little function I wrote for parsing the JSON if it breaks. And I have this little thing because it kind of sucks. Sometimes it shows this end token. All right, and then it generates everything here, and you get it. But it's not complicated. It's just a flask server in front of Code Llama. All right. This is going to take a sec because I got to install Code Llama. And in my Chrome extension, so I'm going to replace this with probably Mistral API, or I'm going to have a stream where I do some cool web GPU stuff. That'll be fun. All right, let's generate all this. Are we good? Okay, we're good. All right, so that's going to take a sec. I'll describe what's going on, though, before I demo. I just realized I keep having to go back to the chat. By the way, what's everyone working on? Aditya, what are you working on 2024? Yes, are you building? You have to be building. See, it's a layer. Oh, wait. It's a layer between Twitter and fine-tuned model with scrapes tweets and contextualizes them based on Gen Z slang. Oh, that's kind of cute. So you're making something that explains tweets like for boomers. Is it a boomer splainer? That's kind of funny. That's kind of, I mean, it's a little lame. Just kidding. Yeah, it's like it's a cool project if you're like, it's if your first time making something, Just kidding. No, that is a cool project. That is a cool project. That's actually interesting because there's a lot of meme potential with that project. If you're 1x. Jared is not kidding. No, I am kidding, Will. Obviously. I mean, that's a much better. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, I'm making like a e-commerce site so that like I can I'm making like a scraper to like scrape like Facebook market listings and then and they'll have all these different and then automatically add it to or make a separate version of it, automatically add it to Amazon. They have all these different components. And I'm like, dude, just do one thing first. I'm a Gen Z and I don't know shit, so thought of something like that. No, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. All right. Okay, it's loading the checkpoint shards. To teach people. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Anyone else got something? I like that. So like the best ideas are ones where you take what you know and you just build what you know. So that's a good one. Hey, Reed, what's up? Happy 2024. I'm mastering Angular even more this year so I can continue shitting on React Next Steps. Dude, I like that you're doubling down on your thing, but like React's pretty good. Dude, do people even like Angular? Like, is that you like Angular? Dude, React's awesome. But then again, I'm not super crazy opinionated about frameworks unless you use TypeScript. Just kidding. I actually, by the way, because I had some things where I was like railing against TypeScript. I like TypeScript. I actually do like it. I mostly just think it's very good to poke at TypeScript people because they kind of they need to let go of JavaScript. If you're gonna write statically typed JavaScript, just let go of JavaScript. Bro thought we was gonna support him. Yeah, I actually hate it. Yeah. What do you hate about it, actually, though? Because I actually don't know. By the way, I'm just talking shit. I don't know much about it. The last time I touched Angular was like I don't even know. I was a teenager, so I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do this because I was like these attributes. I was like, there's too much. Part of the reason why HTMX is cool. I haven't played around with it much yet. The idea is cool, but part of me just doesn't like. Part of me is just like, hey, I don't want to use something where I get confused about the underlying technologies. Or not me, but other people. Maybe that's my own flaw. Like I'll use something like here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. I'll use something like HTMX and I'm like, or I haven't used that yet, but like I see what it is. And I'm like, oh, people aren't going to know what HTML is, you know? And I'm like, no, this is cool. But also like, maybe like people might actually just forget what HTML is. But it is very cool. It's very cool. Everyone has their own opinions. What do you not like about Angular though? Let's see. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? Okay, right. I have the servers running now, so I can now go into my API. Use React 2, and I kind of like it more than Angular actually, but I just want to talk shit about Mern Stack, Bootcamp, Ecom, Full Stack, Next.js peeps. Good. They're horrible. They're horrible. The Angular logo is okay. I'd have no issue with the logo. I have no issue with the logo. I have an issue with the fact that I just never like any JavaScript frameworks that were heavy on the attributes. Like JSX is better. It's just not. It's a completely different language. I think that's fine. Oh wait, I know very little about HTMX. I want to be very clear. I haven't used it yet. Maybe I should do a stream where I use it. The seems pretty simple. I just saw it and was like, people are gonna get dumb. That's my first thought when I saw it. The logo. What's wrong with the logo? Oh, the server's still messed up. Reading components, page analyzer, service worker. Oh, I added an error in here, didn't I? Let's see. Yep. Let's see, level 31. build component mapping. Build component mapping. The secret projects, I did not test code. Responding with. The secret project's cool though. I do want to talk every time. Like I do want to talk about the secret project. Thinking of building my own framework, dude. Don't build a frame. I mean, build what you want to build. There's enough. I hate front end, smash back end all day. Hey, you hate front end, dude? Front end's fun. Front end's fun because I feel like you can. I like building features. I like feeling like I'm getting like the totality done. I'm getting everything done. I'm like, yeah, that's done. You know? You know what I mean? Okay, wait. Is there what's everyone's favorite? You got front end. Reed, what's your favorite? And chat, everyone, let me know what your favorite is. It front end or back end? It's more of an IQ test. No, that's the meme though. The meme's like front end's like retarded. So it's like if you say back end all day, oh, he has a high IQ. Hey, I mean, it's not true. It's just funny. Let's see. What I do here? Asking for component classifications. What did I do wrong? Is it because I have multiple browsers? No. Maybe because I'm new to Redux Toolkit. Redux Toolkit. Oh. Backend. Nah, I would never pick. I like both. I'm full stack, full bread. Because I didn't even know there was a difference, honestly, when I first started out. I was like, yeah, I just need to know all this stuff to do the thing. Just use context. Yeah, I just use context API. Dude, I honestly, when people use reducers, cool, but like, dang, you're gonna just use like Redux for fun? Like, what the fuck? Jared, what am I watching? Oh, I'm debugging something. Hold on, everyone. Will, you're watching a man lose his mind. You're watching a man lose his mind because things aren't working and it's very confusing. Sometimes you have to click the same thing 1,000 times and then eventually it just works. It's a secret, dude. It's a secret project. Period. Oh, because there's two active. What is this? Okay. There's two active. Interesting. Selected true. Complete. I have two. Oh, because I haven't. You know what's interesting? This Chrome extension has not worked yet for multi-window. And I'm realizing that right now. That's the issue. It needs to be on the right window. It's highlighted, selected. They're all right. They're both selected. Okay. Well, I'm just going to get the current window. The current window and current. Let's see. The current window. Current. Yeah, I'll have to query the window, and then I'll have to query the tab. Then I'll have to filter that. How do you get the current window ID? So you get current window ID. I just said window ID. Oh. I didn't even say it was a Chrome extension and Google knew. That's how awesome Google is. Tab.window ID. No, it's not. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I think that makes sense. So I got to get the tab of the one that sent the message. Okay, so the problem was I'm querying. So Chrome extensions work in a way where you have tabs. And you have to, every content script is the script that is injected to the page to do stuff is on each tab. The problem is to get the current tab, I'm only getting the active tab, but there's many active tabs. And I was getting the first active tab, which was the wrong one. So I need to get the right one. So I need to actually get the window ID as well. Let's see. I can say if so let me first see if I can pass this here. Where's this function? Where is this function getting run? What the? Is it here? Oh, it's in the dev loop, right? Yeah, I have a dev loop in this project, in the secret project. Secret project's pretty cool. All right, cool. Let's go. Run. Okay, and then it gets this page analyzer. Right, so it's from here. Okay, so I need to get the sender dot tab dot ID. Is that what it is? That's what it is? No, tab dot window ID. Wait, can I just get the tab ID from there? Yeah. Let me just do that. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just like talking in my head. I'm just fucking crazy. Psycho. Okay, so I need to actually do this. This is what I need to do. Also, use classes. Even if you're using JavaScript, use classes, please. Please. You don't have to, but you should. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know why I'm querying for the active one when I can just. So what happens is I do something in the Chrome extension pop-up. I just need to send. I want to do something to the page I'm on. I don't need to query for any tab. I already have the tab from the pop-up or from the request from the pop-up to the background script. Right? Okay, and here I can get the tab ID. I don't have to do that anymore. I feel like how I'm using I'm like returning promises and I'm using async await. You're like, why are you doing that? Well, sometimes you have to. You're like, why? It's like, well, sometimes life sucks. It's like, I don't know. All right. That should, hopefully that fixes it. No, sometimes async await. Sometimes you need to have more control over your promises in JavaScript. Okay. So I'm going to change all article links to the color red. Generate mod. Let's see if that fixed that. I don't think it did. Hold on a sec. Probably have an error. For anyone watching, skip this part. Oh, my bad. It's tabs.id, I think. What was it again? Yeah. Or no, it's not tabs ID, but I did something wrong. Log sender. I don't have any information about the sender. Oh, the sender is mistake. Get the tab of the tab page. The pop-up is on. I mean, the pop-up isn't on a page. The are URL allowed in chat? No, it isn't. You want to talk about depressing front-end stuff? Use RxJS with Angular, a code filled with observables and subject, and a reactive approach to coding that fucks with your mind. It's okay, bro. We suffer together in state management. Everything's about state management, isn't it? Isn't it weird? It's like the more you code, the more you realize it's all about state. Can you figure out, oh, current window. I'm an idiot. I didn't need to do any of that. That was not 10x, what I just went through right there. That was not 10x Chrome extension. I do still need to resolve the tab ID. I had current window true in here and it didn't work. Who knows? Yeah, most of coding is about state. Typically, your ability to handle state is most of what you have to work. When are we getting a stream using C? I'm not streaming using C. I haven't written to C in like 8 years. Maybe Rust. I've been learning a little bit of Rust. I would think that's something that I would need in C, and then I would do that. I would though. If anyone has any, do you want me to do that? Like, is there something you want built in C? I would definitely do that. Rust smash all day. Maybe we do like a networking thing in C. That'd be cool. Okay, cool. So where am I? Right, definitely. Tab ID. And this. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Clear all, refresh. Let's see. Why smart devs are moving to Rust? Opinion on jobs too. Why smart devs are smart devs moving to Rust? Is that true? I feel like a lot of people are moving to Rust because performance is becoming very important with all this neural network stuff. But guys, compilers are very good. Queer devs are moving to Rust. That's true. Guys, just use Python. Compilers are PyPy is really good. No, Rust is good though. Rust is really cool. It's really cool. It's really cool for systems. If anyone's doing anything systems related, it's very cool. But it matters more. The application of what you're doing matters a lot. It's going to matter a lot soon. If you don't know how to make something useful, it's going to hit you. Someone who does is going to be paying you. So at least know people that know how to make useful things. If you don't know how to make useful things, that's my job. You guys still want to talk about, dude? I had a whole stream about jobs. You still want to talk about jobs? You guys still can't find jobs? Come on. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm testing the code. No, but useful stuff. You need JS. I want to be very clear. You need JS. You probably need some mobile language like Swift or Objective-C if you're interested in making useful things for people. You probably have to find something in the application layer that you can iterate quickly on. Figure it out. The application layer isn't C anymore. So if you want to do C, do it because you enjoy it. And do it because it has use to you. But like, if you want to get paid, probably you'll have to do something in the application layer. Obviously, you can do system stuff all around, and you should know C because C things come up all the time in most languages like Python you're using. So you should know enough to navigate, and you should know enough to algorithmically do memory shit. So you should be able to think algorithmically in terms of memory. You should. I mean, it's not. I mean, functionality. By the way, I mean so in performance. Functionality, you can actually use a garbage collector to write. If you can't find a job, just get a job. Dude, Will's energy is good today. I know one dude, he built LLM projects. His name is Jared. Yeah, I'm that guy. So funny. I didn't know when LLM was January of last year. That's not true. That's not true. I don't know when it was. It was probably like 2 years ago. A year and a half. No, I think it was probably 2 years ago. You just got to learn shit, man. You got to research and study and have a good time. Learn stuff that's interesting to you, but also be useful, be able to create useful things. Don't just chase tools, or else someone who can make useful things will have to determine your price. Or you can do that, but I'm saying if you do play that role, get really focused on being in an environment where you can compete highly at whatever you're doing. So if you're just like, because by the way, that's my perspective on it. Even compile language can be fine-tuned through their GC and concurrency. Yeah. Yeah, it's not about compiler versus every language that you're using is probably getting compiled at some point here. The interpreted and compiled terminology that we have right now has gotten so nuts because like the dream of the interpreter is getting performance just destroyed it. Dude, what am I? Oh yeah, I'm trying to test this thing. I keep like forgetting. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys the classified thing. Okay. Yeah, probably using a compiler. Yeah, think about the concepts. Think about the, yeah, right. This is what I just wanted to show you this. Just want to show you. Oh wait, I didn't log it out. I didn't want to show you a list of numbers. Okay, back to, I fixed the little bug. Back to my, what am I doing? Okay, so we're doing LLM magic. So let me show you. So I have this dev loop in this secret project. This is a secret project, but in the project, I hypothetically need to, like, you know, I need to generate code. How do I describe this without saying what it is? I need to know what the page is. So it's a browser extension that needs to know what your web page is, and it needs to implement functionality. That's the best, without saying what it is, that's the best I can say. Okay. So here I have the knowing what the page is, knowing what it's doing. So I need to classify components on the page. So like I was saying, I need to detect this. I need to detect this, you know, this up arrow, the fact this is a list. I need to detect this is a header. I need to detect this login, yada, yada, yada. I need to detect all that stuff. So I have a way of, I've already talked about the algorithm, but I have an algorithm for doing that. Okay. Let's log this. Hold on a sec. Let me log stuff. Let me log stuff. So one second. I'm going to log this. Okay. Components. Okay. So first, I have this algorithm where I look at the content. It's a whole thing. I don't want to get too nitty gritty. I don't want to bore anyone here, but I score every HTML element based on its content that I describe myself. And then I rank all of the elements here that have content. Okay. So here's where things get interesting, is that I classify every component here. So if you look at at HTML, if you look at the layout of this page, let's go into elements here. If you look at let's refresh the page. So if you look at the elements on this page, you see this is a table. This is Hacker News, by the way. So we have a table, we have like body, yada, yada, TR tag, yada, yada, all this stuff. So what happens, this is how the algorithm's working, is that I need to classify every component. So this might be a component right here. This might be a component, and I'm going to walk through how I solved this problem for myself. This might be a component. Again, you have to, when you're problem solving, you have to think about, this is where algorithms start to matter here, because I actually use it. It's a very simple algorithm, but it's like I use an algorithm, right? And then my knowledge of that, I was able to, you know, do this efficiently. Okay, so I see all these TR tags, yada, yada. So if I go inside one of these TR tags, which is a row, which represents this article, and this is the actual article title, and there's many of these. If I just look at the site, this class can be anything. But for my application, I have to classify it in human words by just analyzing this. So what I'm doing is I'm passing every little component to the LLM that I have, Code Llama, to classify it. There's a big problem. Code Llama can't handle, if I need to classify this whole article list, it can't handle it. It breaks because it's too big. So I need to condense this somehow. So I have an interesting little trick that I'm doing where I start with the smallest unit of a component, which would be this probably. This is like the website name. So this would be detected as a component. This is like a very small thing. It's just one span tag. Am I covering? It's just one span tag that represents this. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's just one span tag that's representing this article, right? So what I do is I do a post order traversal, meaning think bottom up. So I start at the bottom of, this is a tree, so we're traversing it. So I start at the leaf nodes, and then I classify this. And what I do, and this is the neat trick that I'm very happy that I figured this out, is I replace this element with the description of what it is. Because with web components, you can actually name HTML components whatever you want. And the way LLMs work is they know language, and the way the tokenizers work, it's going to be able to actually like see, oh, like this component means this. I feel like the reason why this works is because of web components, the technology, because I think CodeLlama was trained on web components. Anyway, I'll show you. This is what it would look like. So like, let's say this is a site name. So this is a profile site name. So what happens is I would classify it. I get that response back, and I'd replace it with profile site name. Right? So then I go up the chain and I go to this right here, which is the title. And now when I pass this title to CodeLlama, CodeLlama will see, oh, this has a profile site name. So it'll make it easier for this to classify this greater component. So when I classify this article title, let's say this becomes article title, then the HTML becomes even smaller. So I'm slowly condensing the HTML, and then I'm going up the chain again, and then I go to this row, and then this will figure out, oh, this is a, this is in article row with a title, right? So I keep, and this would be like what the LM classified it as. So I keep doing this and going up the chain and up the chain and up the chain. I start with the leaf nodes and I go up. So that's how I'm actually classifying the HTML here. And it's working, which is nice. And that's what I figured out. Let's see. You ever touch assembly? I mean, dude, when I was a teenager, I did this. I would watch these YouTube videos. The only time I ever did assembly was there was this OS video. It was actually very useful now that I look back. Everyone should probably look into assembly. I never like fucking coded in assembly because I don't have to. But I did this OS course online. It wasn't a course. It was just a YouTube video. It was a lot of YouTube videos. And I've never taken like an actual legit thing, but it was a lot of YouTube videos on OS. And I remember learning assembly, and I was like, dude, this is like, I'm just gonna do like Python. Let's see what are you saying, Indeed? Yeah, no one knew LLM till 2023. Not even my state. LLM's been a thing before 2023. Jared, is this legit? I'm a mentor of a startup team at Stanford University hiring interns. We are looking for a full stack web developers and would like to consider if you're interested. I got reached out by some Indian girl in Georgia. Dude, hold on a second. Well, Florian, hi. Florian, you're always like, how are you awake? Is it 3 a.m. where you're at? How are you awake right now, Florian? Go to bed. All right. Aditya, hold on a second. Slow down. What happened? It's 3, Florian. It's 3 a.m. For me, like, if I go to bed at 3 a.m., I'm waking up. I'm waking up at 11 a.m. I don't get like nothing's. I don't care what people need. I'm waking up at 11 a.m. It's like that's why I prefer being an entrepreneur because you can more so make your schedule a little bit. Obviously, you have to be on. If you have a meeting at like in the morning, obviously you still have to make it. But what I mean is like you get to make your schedule a little bit more because like I don't even understand how you do. How are you doing that? You're watching Spotify, the Netflix TV show. Spotify, like the what? Wait, so there's a Netflix TV show called Spotify? Lauren, I think you've been awake for too long, and now you're starting to hallucinate. You're like, I was watching Spotify on Netflix. Just go to bed. Yeah, put the phone down, Lauren. Put the drugs down. Just go to bed. All right. On LinkedIn, she reached out to me. She's originally from the city next to me. No, I mean, I'm just saying what. So she messaged you this. I'm a mentor of a startup. Yeah. Can you send the profile to me? I won't do it on stream. I'll do it off stream. You have to message me, DM me in the Discord of the profile. I'll tell you if it's legit. It might be legit. The fact that they would say Stanford could mean a lot of things. It could be true, or it could be that they're trying to trick you. It's about Spotify's creation. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. For a second, I thought you were hallucinating. Anyway, so this is how I'm classifying the HTML, and this is how I'm dealing with context windows, and it's kind of working. So let me show you it in action. Actually, I think I already can show you. Hold on a second. Oh, did I refresh the page? Oh, I refreshed. I think I refreshed the page. Oh no. Oh no, it is working. You can see here it got to a point where it broke, which isn't good. There might be something wrong with the API, but as you can see, it's a classify. I cut off for logging purposes, but I classify this thing. It actually says this is a news story from Hacker News. So CodeLlama knows what Hacker News's HTML looks like. So that, that's kind of a left, Chris. That, that doesn't, it helps, but it also doesn't because I want it to be more generic. So I'll probably tell the LLM to be generic. So you see it's classifying these as news stories. It classified this as a navigation bar. And as you can see, I'm passing up the descriptions, replacing the element and becoming a web component with the description, an empty one, a pseudo component where the description is the tag name. And then it's going up the chain and up the chain and up the chain. And it's working. So I'm classifying all these components this way on the page. And I don't do every element. I do all the ones I detect as being valuable to me. So all the ones that have content in them. Okay, so let me show you the algorithm. So we're talking about pre-order. Let's talk about pre-order and post-order traversal. Post-order. This is a pretty basic tree thing. I think I just want a good graphic. But I think it's good to walk through because people be like, why do I need to know tree traversal? It's like literally I had to know this for this problem, right? And it's not like complicated or anything, but I just want to get like a graph of it. Wikipedia. Good guy HN back at it. Hey Gambon. Love your energy. Love that energy. I am back at it. Yo, yeah, what I was gonna say is I'm gonna try to stream mo 3 days a week. I'm gonna try to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was, like, hesitant saying it, but fuck it. I'm just gonna I wanna do that. The reason why I have been streaming recently and I've been on and off is because I'm doing a lot of, like, work for my business and, with clients and also but I know how to manage it now and do the streams. Also, the streams help get clients, so it's kinda need to do both. But also because of this big project I'm planning, and I'm like, I wanna have a big project this year. I wanna have a big project. And I was like, I need a couple months to kind of like go through to kind of be in the arena. I'm in the arena. That's what I want to say. I'm the man in the arena. It's me. Just kidding. But yeah, I needed some time to focus. Okay, so I just want to see like a visual. There has to be a visual. I feel like it's a better way to. Yeah, let's do a visual. So it's in order, pre-order. I'm kidding about the arena thing. Yeah, I'll check it. Oh yeah, I'll check it on mobile because I don't want to like show some ladies LinkedIn. Let's see. Stanford University startup. I'm a mentor of a startup team. Hire interns to work. Can you send me? Oh, that's her profile. Let's see. I'm vetting this lady that contacted Adidia here. Let's see. I just want to open it up in the app. That's annoying. You don't hate when you're using an app and it's like Discord, you can't open it to the LinkedIn links directly in LinkedIn. That's annoying. Let's see. See this person. What's their name? GOT. Is that like a popular name? I can't find her. Oh, I find her right here. Let's see. University of Home Depot, 20 years. Interesting. I don't think she's affiliated with Stanford, Aditya. So that's interesting. Hey, follow up with her. Definitely. You know, it might not be legit, but follow up with her and figure it out. I don't see, she might be just using that name. But hey, follow up and see how it goes. See how it goes. She seems like a real person. Okay. So let's go to this Wikipedia. Which is up. Where is I just want a visual. Okay, I'm just gonna explain it. Why are images taking a long time? Right. Okay. So depth first and breadth first and all that. So post order traversal, as you see, it would go 5 or 4. Oh, can you see that? It would go 4, 5, 2, 6, 7, 3. You kind of see it's a bottom up versus top down. So the order here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's down and over, down and over, down and over, down and over. So post order, it's post of the order, right? So the order here is always going to be the number increasing from left to right. We're making sure we start at the leaf nodes, and we don't ever get to a node unless we've gotten to all of its descendants, which is important for my case. And the way you would write that algorithmically is pretty basic, honestly. Well, ignore all this stuff, but here I have this loop right here, and I ensure that I go through. By the way, this isn't a binary tree. This is just, there can be a ton of children, right, in HTML, but I make sure I go through the children first, and I recursively run the same function for the children first, and then I do my logic. I have a little breakpoint here once I because this is just for testing, just ignore that. So I do all my logic to classify the component. So I hit an API here. That's all this is doing. And I do it. I make sure all my API requests are on the background script, which is good if you're using Chrome extensions. I promise you, I made some hefty Chrome extensions. It's much easier when you just manage mostly everything, including state. State being stored in the Chrome storage API, and it being controlled through the background scripts. I think it's so much better. Sending messages in the runtime is not really much overhead. Anyway, so I do my logic here. So what happens is, I wish there's a way to graph recursive functions easily. Could I draw it? I guess I could just describe it. But what's happening here is I first go through the root node. So I run this function on the root node, which is the body. I go through every element, and for every element, I check the children first, and I go down the line and recursively run the function for every child, and then do my logic in order to do stuff to the node. And then once there isn't any children, of course, it's just going to return the function and then continue back up. And this is left to right because I'm just starting. If I wanted to reverse this and do right to left, and I would just reverse the children, I guess, but it doesn't really matter for me here. I'm doing left to right because that's also the order of HTML trees. So it's typically when you're getting all the children HTML node, you're getting it in order in the list from top down, which would be, I guess, left to right. But yeah, so if I wanted to do pre-order, I would do stuff above this. So when you're reversing trees, you want to do leaf nodes first. Remember, you want to recursively push and continue down the line and go through the descendants first recursively, and then you want to do your logic afterwards. Assuming, oh, by the way, I'm using async await here because this would be fucking confusing if I was not. This would be very confusing. So I'm trying to make this as sequential as possible. Well, by the way, Aditya, you don't know if this is paid too. Talking about your thing. So she could just want a slave. So you didn't really get anything yet. Let's see. Maybe she's looking for a sweet PPP engineer. Don't do whatever that is. What the fuck is a PPP? Don't do any PPP, Aditya. The fuck is a PPP? You know what? Don't do it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what a PPP is. $500 is a good salary for entry dev here. Where do you live? What do you mean $500? HAR export everything. But yeah, follow up with her. I'm just kidding. Follow up with her. Yeah. Yeah, definitely follow up with her. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. Oh yeah, the classifying's working, which is cool. So like this is the ground roots. It's paid. She mentioned in text. What is how much? Is it the whole thing's $500? I don't understand. $500 a year? We gotta get to the bottom of this. How's the job market going for everybody, by the way? How's the job market going? I feel like everyone's suffering, right? Doesn't everyone have like a problem getting jobs now? Dude, I said it, you gotta get good. You gotta get really good. Well, because it's not that's why I did the stream where it's like it's not about you, because it's true. If you want to get a job in tech, in my opinion, in anything, in my opinion, you have to be in a position of strength all the time. I'm working a data center right now. It sucks, but humbling after doing dev. Yeah, humbling's good. In India, PPP means purchasing power party a month, not year off course. Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, yeah, no, humble is good. I think tech needs a massive humbling. Needs a massive humbling. Yeah, there is juniors because it's so funny. People are like, "Man, it's so hard getting a job in tech now," and I'm like, "Hard? No, it's normal now." That's what happens when you have an inflated industry. So you have an inflated industry. Eventually, it's gonna not be that way, and then it's gonna be like a normal one where people have to be valuable to get hired. Because what happened was people got too gung ho with scaling their organizations off of funny money, oil money. So they started scaling a ton of their operations with all this oil money, capital, capital, and they wanted to become unicorns. Everyone wants to become a unicorn. There's a lot of unicorns. There's Airbnb, there's Uber, and all this stuff. A lot of these companies that are chasing that just are never going to be that, and they scaled up huge. Yeah, they scaled up huge operations where it's like I remember knowing people that didn't know how to get code getting paid well past six figures who genuinely didn't know how, like, they didn't know anything, you know. Jared, you realize I I live in the best country. Yeah. The USA, baby. The USA is the best. Yeah. No, there's like right now there's a massive deflation that's happening. Whereas it's like you're not going to get paid what you think in general. Yeah, USA number one. Yeah, the no, but you're not going to get paid what you. I mean, a lot of people are. Like a lot of people that there's guys coming out of college that are get paid really well. Yeah, USA in the chat. USA is going to win. But USA might not be what we think it is. But it's going to win. It's going to win. That Declaration of Independence is pretty dope. It's pretty dope. What was I talking about? Yeah. Yeah, there's no, it's like, because you have to think about it. Like, why would someone pay? Like, I know someone, friend of a friend, the USA will win just because of YC. What do you mean win? Or what do you mean, like, YC's relation to that? Because of innovation? No, I don't think YC has anything to do with it. YC is more, they make companies that will eventually harvest enough data so the US can like dominate its citizens better. That's what YC does. I actually don't think YC is like that competitive. Maybe it does help with GDP, but like competitively speaking, it's mostly like war. Um, that's mostly why the USA is on top. It's mostly oil, and it's mostly energy. I mean, it's we might have some rocky time. The BRICS are probably gonna. It's like currency, so like the currency dominates. Whoever runs the currency runs the world. Um, when you think about most of these YC companies, it's like who's gonna get the most data? Like irrespective of what happens, YC is a great ecosystem where people learn from real people, not teachers. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not shitting on YC, by the way. I'm just saying what it is. No, YC is great. I know a lot of cool people from it. Fuck the bricks. Nah, dude. At least they have infrastructure and like young populations. Hey, here's the thing. When the people aren't, you know, procreating, you're going to have, when they're not working, humbling, and all this stuff, yeah, you're going to have other countries that are younger, that are have a higher birth rates, that are in general like each person is more useful to the market. Yeah, you're gonna like this is what's gonna happen. And I mean, when I say useful, I don't mean just IQ points or whatever. A lot of people with high IQs waste away on like Twitter or whatever. Um, that's one thing I think the US is failing at is like it's like what do you like it's like what are you doing for like the average guy? Like in India now we have people supporting innovation in government. It's also supporting, so it's pre-start era in India. No, I fully believe that, Aditya. I hear that a lot of countries are like that right now. The West has a cultural problem that it needs to fight right now. Too many degens, too many people cutting their dicks off. Let's see, like 60s, 70s of, yeah, no, I believe it. No, right now in the US, people are afraid to say words. So like we're not like, by the way, when I say US is gonna win, I mean like long, long term. I'm thinking generationally here. Okay. Thinking generationally. What yeah, it's pretty much what I want to talk about. Let's see. Hand pink. Hey, what's up, Freddie? What's up, Freddie Hernandez? 2024 is gonna be a bright year. What's everyone building? Is everyone actually building? I don't think everyone's building. This secret project I'm working on is it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna show some progress as I continue. By the way, I'm gonna try to Monday around 8 p.m. EST. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Gonna try to try to stream. Trying to build my resume. Code smells over time. It's true. Here working on Genexus. What? What is Genexus? Dude, I don't know what that is. USA has a lot of woke culture. Yeah, or is it just a perception? No, it does. It's not just a perception. It does. And hey, you gotta call what is it, spade a spade? There's a lot of we can get to a better culture, I think. But each individual has to do it for themselves, their family. ID low code. No try, no trying your ass is gonna uh, Will, I promise. Just for you. So is Genexus like good? Man, I was using a bubble, like this low code thing for a contract. It was not. It was like I was like, this is horrible. It's gonna be way faster if I just code it. Because at first, for all the basic stuff, it was cool, but once you start to like have to connect things and have like loops, so once you have to have loops, it's hard. With like once you have storage, it could do storage obviously, but like once you have to have like actual like you know functionality, like once the things have to become Turing complete, that's one thing I don't understand about like the no code, low code thing. It's like no, I mean low code's existed since like Dreamweaver, right? But there comes a point where it's like I don't know, no one wants to. Only an engineer is going to engineer. No one wants to engineer. That isn't an engineer. That's a fact. Some people can figure it out and they can do this and they can find interesting ways to build stuff that's useful. Definitely. But whether it's low code, Python's low code, It's not the best, but it's money. True. It is if it's money, it's money. YCOM, Lambda, calculus, ducks in a pond. Yeah. When I open world maps, I realize how many countries don't speak English, and software English isn't a skill to be mentioned. What do you mean, people? So, what do you mean software English isn't a skill to be mentioned? For most, I feel like most people I know who code have to know English, right? Because they have to work remote with English nations typically to make money. Are you saying that that's not assumed? I guess that might be true. And also, when you say the countries don't speak English, it's like a lot of people do speak English in the country. It's just different like types of people there. What project does Guy want you to work on? That's a secret. No, that's a good question. Will, I'll be thinking about that. Like it's assumed, but speaking English is a skill. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Definitely is a skill. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely taken for granted because people if they don't like how you speak English, they won't fuck with you at all. For a lot of these companies, that's like an under thing that isn't said. They'll be like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, they'll just be like, oh, fucking this person isn't like, we can't talk to them. What DM? I'll check it after, dude. I'll check it after the unless it's important. Is it important? Do I have to stop the stream right now to talk about it? Do you? If so, let's see. What project is it? Yeah, what does Gal want you to work on? It's a project you made. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. Not allowed in chat. Oh, okay, cool. Post in so I have a show off section in the Discord for anyone who has like cool projects. So the overall of the stream is make apps. I don't just mean mobile, desktop, whatever. I mean focus on applications. How can you use AI to build better apps and more? And not just quantity, but I mean more of the quality you do over time. Can you utilize AI to be more productive this year? Think outside the box. Think about like what users want. Think about ways to, because we've been on this sliding scale of like apps since before C, since before Unix, since before, I mean, definitely before PCs. There's been, VisiCalc on the Apple II. It's like we think about these killer apps. There's been these like, Adobe. We think about these applications. Where do you think, if you like, I'll give everyone watching this, like, think about the past year. Think about what sort of apps have been important in the past year, and how has AI helped with that, and has it? And be honest with that. And I think so, but it's like what I'm saying is like be very like boom, like you have to think about it. Put yourself in the box. You have to think about what is like actually happening in the greater view of AI right now. Like, how is AI being used to push apps further, and is it? And where are the apps evolving? Mobile was big. The web was big, obviously, in the 90s. You have more ways for people to build apps. It's like I would say for everyone like watching who will watch this, just think of that. That's super important because 2024, I think there's going to be a completely different stage when it comes to apps, when it comes to applications. And it's good to be thinking about these things because a lot of people are thinking about these things. A lot of big players, a lot of small players, but a lot of people that are OpenAI. That's OpenAI's whole thing right now with their chat store. Think about where you think people are going to want to use software more. Think about like how people are going to use software more differently. Is it going to be software? It might be something different. You don't know. Like that's the type of stuff I think about. It's like that's what matters. Don't just think about, oh, I gotta learn fucking like I gotta learn this language that's like from like I gotta learn blah 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 blah. I gotta learn. It's like don't just think about the frameworks and the tech. You get like think about the mission. Think about the greater part. And then you find your piece of it. You say, hey, I'm a good designer. So you've thought about the greater picture, and now you can use the design tools you need and then work at a company you feel like is a part of that greater picture. So you're like, hey, Mistral's making cool models. Let me work at Mistral as a designer. Let me work at Meta or whatever as it's like work where you see the future going and do work you like to assist that or to lead the charge. Start your own company or not, or work at a company. But like try to like be a part, like think about what you think things are going and then try to be a part of it. Do what you want. I'm just saying, if you like the content, I highly suggest doing that. Into the economic anxiety of the jobs can get a lot of people, and I get that, but it's like the best way to deal with that is to let it go for a second and to focus on something greater and try to get there. And then you can because there's always going to be a time to be anxious and to be afraid. But like, just think about like, let go all that for a second and just take like an hour and think about the future. See, we need a flood to take away our current devs. Oh, it's happening. Well, it's happening. I was thinking to make a Chrome extension for YouTubers which don't want to read hate comments so that AI will go and tag comments with a bar from 0 to 10 on hate speech. I mean, I guess that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right. All right. I'll see you.